Can I be real with you for just a second here? Like, I truly want to sit back and I want you to understand. I want you to resonate with me. I want you to feel what I'm about to ask you, all right? And I want you to think about it real hard. You ever notice how podcasters with the smallest followings seem to book out their calendars while you have some that's out here, or it could be you, out here with 10K followers wondering where all their clients is at? Like, do you ever just sit back and wonder that? Have you sit back and thought about that? Like, that's one of the burning questions that a lot of people don't tend to want to get into. They want to avoid the hardness, the stuff that will bring to the forefront. They want to avoid that. Well, here's the hard truth that nobody really wants to talk about out loud. See, your audience size don't mean nothing if you're not engaging with the right people, if you're not engaging the right way, and if you're not engaging every single day. You see, in 2026, the game has truly changed. See, it's not about going viral anymore. No. It's not about going viral. It's about going valuable. And today, we're going to take the curtain. We're going to peel it back. We're going to break down exactly how to use social media to double your podcast audience. Not with luck, not with algorithms. But see, if you've ever paid attention, we talk about systems. So we're going to talk about the systems. We're going to double it with systems. All right. So you got to have a clear strategy and daily habits that turn strangers into subscribers, and subscribers that will turn into your number one client. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Podcast for Profit, the show where podcasters become CEOs. I'm your host, Tony Porter, and every week I'm giving you the strategy, systems, and game you need to grow your audience, monetize your message, and build a seven-figure podcast business. No fluff, no cap, just real results. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome to Podcast for Profits, the show where we turn conversation into currency. Now, I'm your host, Mr. Tony Porter, and if you're new here, let me tell you what we do. We don't chase downloads. We don't obsess over vanity metrics. What we do is we build client-generating podcast machines that put money into your pockets and freedom onto your calendar. Now, today, we're talking about something that literally every podcaster I've coached gets wrong at the first beginning of their podcast, and that's social media engagement. See, most people think that posting clips and waiting for the algorithm to do its thing is enough. No. See, that's not it. It's not. In fact, it's costing you clients. It's costing you credibility and keeping you from doing what you need to do. Actually, it's actually keeping you stuck in that mud trap that, we call life. So I need you to understand this. Here's what you're going to learn today. See, why posting more is actually the wrong advice, and what you should do instead. See, we call this the targeted daily engagement system. And I use it to turn cold followers into warm leads every single week. See, it's a 15-minute daily routine that can double your audience because it doubled mine in 90 days. Now, check this out. Without spending a whole lot of money on ads. It means you ain't got to drop a dime. You ain't got to go out here and break the bank. You ain't got to go broke to do half the stuff that you need to do. Here's what you need to do. We're going to break down the exact DM script that books the discovery calls without being salesy or being weird. Because, see, nowadays, people think that you're weird, man. They'll be listening to you like, he's weird. I'm not fooling with them. I'm not fooling with him. All right. So we don't want to be weird about things. And the biggest mistake that podcasters make on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube that kills their growth. We're going to talk about all of that. So by the end of this episode, you're going to have a clear, repeatable system. You can start today. All right. Just start using without the guesswork, without hoping, just pure action. Now, if you're ready to get that done, let's jump into that. All right. So let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get ready. You should already been ready, but let's go on and get this thing cracking. Now, understand this. Podcast for Profits is the new. We're building the newest number one community. And I'm saying that now because I'm speaking this into existence. We want to be the number one community on school for podcasting. But see, everybody thinks this is about podcasting when it truly is not. We're using podcasts to leverage our business. I'm a business strategist coach. So I'm teaching coaches, consultants, podcasters, and creators how to use a podcast and turn it into a seven-figure business. The beauty of it is I'm one step away from that seven figures. Yeah. See, I could talk about my income without having to really go into my income. Because, see, nowadays, people want proof, but When you give proof, people want to go at you. And I'm not talking about on screen going at you. I'm talking about trying to get at your money, trying to rob you. We're not doing that. We want to help you. We want you to take the steps and prove to yourself that things can happen if you're consistent, you got community, and you got the content that makes it work. That's the 3 C's that I live by. So understand this. At the end, leave you a link to join the free community. We want to build a community. We're building it out now. So if you just happen to click the link and there's nothing in there, don't worry. Every day, something will be popping in. Every day, you will get some information. And every day, we need you to engage, build, and keep grinding. And once you keep grinding and we keep building this community, you'll understand why community is so important. Why podcasting is the #1 evergreen tool outside of YouTube. And because, listen, video podcasting is where it's at. It's where you build trust. You got me? All right, so let's get into this, man. So, again, the myth of post and pray. See, there's this everlasting myth out here that if you post and you pray, you'll pray it into existence. Not with Instagram and not with Facebook. But since we're talking about Instagram today, let's talk about it. Look, I need you to understand something right now. Social media is not a billboard. It's a conversation. Should I say that out loud for the people in the back? Social media is not a billboard. It's a conversation. If let me ask you this. If you've been around the younger generation, shout out to the younger generation, shout out to the YNs and the YTs, and shout out to everybody who has some type of Instagram post or some type of Instagram account, some type of Facebook, some type of social media, right? Here's what you got to understand. When you're posting, you are generating a conversation into your world. You're generating an invitation to come into your world. I was so blown away several months ago when me and a couple of the guys that I do business with, we was sitting around and we was actually in Fajitas. It's a restaurant out in the East End. And we was sitting there chopping it up. And it's some young people in there. There was a couple of the young girls in there. And there was some young guys, they was all in there. They was laughing and joking. And one of the guys said, "Oh man, you cute. Can I get your Instagram?" And we all looked at each other like, so they don't ask for phone numbers no more. So what this is it's an invitation into their world. So when they ask it for their Instagram, they want to be able to see all the content, everything that goes on. And this is to let them know. And this is the new way. So the reason I say that is because, see, most podcasters, they tend to treat Instagram like a flyer on a telephone pole. See, that's old school. See, they post their episodes, throw up some hashtags, and then disappear. Well, we can't do that. And then once they do all of that, then they wonder why nobody's listening, nobody's commenting, nobody's reaching out to them. So you can't treat things like we used to treat things back in the day, like for Gen X's. Because nowadays, you want people to engage with you. And here's what we found out after doing research. Because, see, when we go to these luncheons and we sit down and we chopping it up, the thing that we like to talk about is what these algorithms is out here doing. Listen, I'm 53 years old. My team around me, the guys who I deal with, we're all in our 50s. And we're understanding now that the word algorithm it's filling you out. So the digital world is more like how we used to be back in the old days when we would go to the club and talk to the young ladies. And when you're talking to these young ladies, you're filling them out like they're filling you out. So basically what you're doing is you have to understand this. The reality of life nowadays is the algorithm rewards engagement and not just posting. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once you make a post, you need to engage. And there's so many different ways to get to growing your account. Like the one way that I grow my account is, and I give you this pro tip real quick. I will go into my competitor's account and look at their latest post. And after I see what they post, I look and see what the comments are. Now, I'm not stealing their comments. I'm not stealing their ideas. What I'm doing is when I see somebody post on there, I comment on that post. And I leave a very valuable comment on the comment that was posted to that particular post. I always look for the first 5. And once I see the first 5, I find the one that I feel resonates with what I'm thinking at that particular point in time. And I drop a post. Once I drop that comment, that's where my engagement starts. Because, see, like I said, back in, I want to say the early 2015s, I had just thought about podcasting. Now, social media was popping, but I wasn't really into social media like that. You understand what I'm saying? I truly hadn't got deep into social media. But I was posting every day. But I wasn't posting what I needed to post. See, at that time, Instagram was for the pictures and Facebook was for your friends. Now it's broken down to where Instagram is, you could do business on Instagram. Facebook and YouTube have taken a whole nother platform turn. And I'm telling you, you don't even have to have a course these days to grow. Right? It's always good to have something to monetize with. But listen, the clips that I was posting, just me acting silly. I didn't know nothing about carousels. I didn't even know nothing about motivational quotes. But what I was doing is I was doing everything that I seen somebody else doing. And I knew what my DMs looked like. I had dreams of taking the social media thing, my podcast, and taking it to a whole nother level. But I seen what my DMs look like. They look like the Mojave Desert. A lot of dust, more crickets, nothing. Nothing was there. And I do mean nothing. But then I started, as time went on, you kind of get discouraged. And then I stumbled across Russell Brunson. I didn't know who this guy was. I thought he was a little nerdy looking cat. But what he was doing was he was speaking to me, and I hadn't realized it yet. So fast forward a few years later, I kind of was like, man, I ain't going to do this podcast. I'm going to go back to beat making. And then I stumbled across this guy named Gabe Schilling. So Gabe Schilling, in turn, turned me back to Russell Brunson. I didn't even realize it yet. And once Gabe popped onto my timeline, that's when I realized, yeah, we got to get this thing cracking. We got to get this thing going. So once I found Gabe and entered the contest and won the contest, and I got turned back to Russell, Russell said something to me that made it seem like he was talking to me. So the conversation he was having, it sounded like this. It says, hey, Tony, you're shouting into a void, man. See, that was a marketing tip that I didn't understand at the time. So I had to invest. And once I started investing, it came right back full circle to where it said, hey, Tony, you're shouting into a void. Start having conversations. So once I realized that, I flipped the script. And instead of waiting for people to engage with my content, again, remember what I told you? I started engaging with theirs. See, every single day for 10 minutes a day, for 30 days straight, I started reaching out, leaving comments, doing this and doing that. And then my DMs became full. And this might not be a word, but more full, fuller. Podcasts started taking off. I booked my first client, all because I stopped posting and praying and started engaging with purpose. And that's what I had to do. I had to engage with purpose, man. Now, here's the one thing you need to tattoo in your brain cells. Engagement is a two-way street. If you want people to show up for you, for your content, you got to show up for theirs first. Remember what I just said? I said, I would go. So take this for instance. David Sands is probably the king of podcasting right now in my culture. He's not Joe Rogan. He's not Pat Flynn. He's not Tim Ferriss. He's David Sands. And this is what my culture looks up to, right? Okay. So, we all have these cultural conversations. So what happened is once I realized I needed to tap in to the audience, how do you tap in? Well, here's what I did. I start going onto the Social Proof Instagram page. He would always post his interviews. As he's posting his interviews, people would comment. I would go into the comments and I look for the top 5, pick the best one, and I comment on that person's comment, which would in turn lead them back to commenting with me. See, now Instagram has things to where you can start a conversation with a DM. I'm not doing that. I'm going to start it right here on this link. You know why I'm going to start it right here on this link, on this post? Because I want everybody to see it. That wasn't the karma that was coming out. That was the business side. And once my mindset went to the business side, I said, okay, now we got to get this targeted daily engagement system together. Because now I need to build this system out. So I know every morning or sometime during the day, I need to know exactly what all I got to do, right? Once I started building out the targeted daily system, this was a no-brainer because I had to get tactical. And see, by me being tactical, I can't gatekeep this. So I'm going to give it to you. It's the same system I've been teaching. My homeboys who all have started their podcast, I've been teaching this. I've been teaching this for a minute. And when you join the community, I teach this also for free in the Podcast Profit Lab because we got to listen. Some things you got to put it out there for people to know. All right. And this is a way that you can double your audience using what I call targeted daily engagement. So you have to understand this. This ain't random. This ain't spray and pray. This is the strategic, intentional, all-in-one system. And it only takes 15 minutes a day. Well, I broke it down to where I'm doing it for 10 a day. All right. So here's the framework. What you need to do is number one, you need to identify your listener avatar before you engage with anybody. You got to know who you're looking for. You have to know, are you targeting coaches? Are you targeting consultants, service providers, or entrepreneurs? Get specific. Write it down. Don't do like me. I'm hybrid. But you might not be hybrid. You might want to focus on one to start. That's what we need to start is focus on one. Because if you're talking to everyone, you're not reaching anybody. See, I've been able to build it because I focused on one. So for content purposes and kicks and giggles, we're going to focus on coaches. All right. So find 10 high value accounts every morning, daily, every morning. Open your Instagram, or even you can do this on LinkedIn, and search for your ideal listener. You can use hashtags like business coach, podcast host, solopreneur. It doesn't make a difference, man. Whatever fits your audience. And then after you do that, find 10 accounts that fit your avatar, not influencers, not celebrities. You want to deal with regular people who are actively posting daily and engaging with their own communities. We tend to want to chase the bigger podcasts. I listen to the bigger podcast. I listen to Joe Button. I listen to the Drink Champs. I listen to Jada and Joe. I listen to $1 Million Worth of Game. I listen to The Pivot. I listen to All the Smoke. I listen to Pat McAfee's podcast. I listen to these podcasts. This is a part of my day. As I'm moving through, I'm listening. And then I have the ones like, I listen to Grow the Show. I listen to Amy Porterfield's podcast. Listen to Pat Flynn's. Throughout the day, I'm listening because some of these episodes are short, some of them are long. So I pick and choose which one I want to listen to first. And then when it's lunchtime, I sit back and I listen to the long ones. It takes me through the day. I work out listening to podcasts. Why? Because I need to know trends. I need to know this. I need to know that. Then I jump on YouTube at night and I'm watching social media, Social Proof Podcast Network. I'm understanding. I'm listening. All right. So after you go through this whole process, the 5-minute engagement sprint goes a little something like this. And this is where the magic happens. From each of those accounts, from each account that's got 10 accounts in it, right? What you need to do is you need to like 3 posts. Leave a real comment. Remember I said that, right? Not great post. I'm talking valuable. I'm asking a question, adding some insight, starting a conversation. Engage with 2 other people, y'all, in their comment section. This is the secret sauce. You got to see. You got to seen. You have to be seen by their audience. So if you're doing this, you have to engage with these folk on their comment so the other people can see this. All right. And that's it. 10 counts, 5 minutes a day, every single day for the next 30 days. And let's see how your social media grows. All right. You got that? I hope everybody wrote that down. And then you have to follow up with a DM. Now, this is where automations come in. You're not being salesy. Excuse me. After a few days of engagement, I hit their DMs up. But I'm not pitching. I'm not selling. I'm just continuing the conversation. And here's what I say to them. I'm like, yo, I've been seeing your post, man, on brand awareness. Man, that's really solid. That's some good stuff, bro. Now, I'm being genuine because I don't want to cuss. But when I'm being myself, you might get that. That's really solid shit, bro. All right. Excuse my French. And then I let them know, hey, what's good? I'm host a podcast called Podcast for Profits, where we talk about turning conversations into revenue, conversations into currency. Thought you might vibe with it. I'll drop you a link if you're interested. Either way, keep doing what you're doing. Ooh, allergies. See, there's no pressure. There's nothing salesy about it. Just add a little value. All right, just add a little value. And all you're really doing is you're giving them an invitation. And then after you give them the invitation, you wait a second, you get your Google sheet, and then you start tracking. I track who I engage with. I track who follows back with me. I track who responded and who booked the call. That ain't guesswork. That's a system. So using that exact system, I went from 300 Instagram followers to 1,000 on my music page. Right now, I'm sitting at 700 and something. 750 or 790 on my I Am Anthony Porter page. Now, I'm focusing on brand awareness, right? This is after 2 months. I've landed 4 people asking, how can I work with you? I hadn't even put that out there yet. They come asking me. So you don't need a huge following. You need the right following. Because once you get the right following, people want to know, how do they get to this particular point? And that's how you want to be, man. You don't have to be salesy. Be yourself. And so then you have to understand this too, because you have to speak to the algorithm. Platform specific engagement tactics is where it's at. See, when you start breaking down everything by platforms because see, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube all have different game plans. See, Instagram, they're a community builder. See, Instagram is all about proximity. You got to be in the comments, in the DMs, in the stories. Don't just post reels and go ghost. All right. Reply to every comment, engage with every follower, content. Follow their content, use their stories, use your stories to ask questions, run polls, and you got to create some dialogue now. Got to. And here's a pro move for you. Go live once a week. Even if it's just 10 minutes, go live, answer questions, drop value. The algorithm loves live content and it puts you in front of new people. Now, LinkedIn's the authority player. LinkedIn is where you build credibility. This is where the ideal clients are scrolling, doing lunch breaks and and they little coffee runs, going down to Starbucks. They going down to Scooters, Seven Bruh, Dutch Coffee. You got to post thought leadership. All right. Share lessons learned. Write many case studies. Engage with other people's posts in your niche. Comment with insight. Add value. Your name will start popping up everywhere and people will click on your profile. They want to know, who's this person talking? And then when they see you host a podcast, game over. You're the authority. YouTube, you playing the long game. YouTube's different. It's not about daily engagement. It's about community and consistency. Reply to every comment on your videos. The best ones. Ask follow-up questions. Man, engage with other podcasters in your niche. Leave thoughtful comments on their videos. You're building a relationship and getting discovered by their audience. See what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. All right. Now, if you want the full breakdown of this platform strategy engagement included in the exact content calendar I use, I'll walk you through step by step inside the client generating podcast blueprint. It's free. It's in the community. It's in the Podcasters Academy community, which is what we're building. That's where we're going to put it at. All right. So be ready for that. Now, the biggest mistake I see podcasters making these days, and it's killing their growth. Something else we got to talk about it. Because if I can help you not make these mistakes, you will turn out a better podcast, a better coach, a better creator. All right. So a lot of people, the first mistake they make is they're only engaging after they post. If the only time you show up is when you're having something to say, you're not building a community. You're running that billboard. Flip it. Engage first, post second. There's a strategy where I've been studying. I'm going to try it for 30 days. When I post some of these, post the story first and then 30 minutes later, post your reel or whatever and see how that does. Mistake number 2 that they make. They're using the copy and paste method with their comments. No, don't do that. Great post, fire emoji. Love this, fire emojis. So true, fire emoji. Come on, fam. The algorithm can tell when you're faking it. They can really tell. Like, he just put this. No. Hit them with some truth. Hit them with some value. And ask questions. Start that conversation, all right? And then mistake number 3, you're ignoring your DMs. Your DMs are your money makers. This is where relationships turn into revenue. If someone replies to your story, hit them up. After they post it, ask a question, respond. And you got to do this quickly. Every DM is a potential client, every potential collaborator, or even a potential referral. If you're not tracking anything, hey, you can't improve on what you're doing because you got to know the measurements. You got to know that your engagement, you track your engagement, you track your DMs, you track your calls that you're being booked, track everything. All right. Stop guessing. We don't need to guess no more. We just don't need to guess. All right. Now, if you haven't realized right now that you've been making some of these mistakes, don't trip. Because guess what? I didn't realize it until I was shown. That's why I'm teaching you this now. That's why I'm bringing this to you to the forefront. That's why I want you to understand there's no more gatekeeping. Podcasting is so evergreen. Podcasting right now, people out here today have so much that they want to say, but they don't know how to put it out there to have it for people to just sit back and be like, yeah, we need to really pay attention to this. They don't. See, if you want to go deeper, you want to be a podcast that actually convert, go back and listen to episode number 3, why your podcast isn't making any money. And that's why I break down the mindset shift you need before the strategy even matters. All right. You got me? Ooh, I love it when a plan comes together. Gabriel quoted that Mr. T, the A-team. Okay. Now, the 15-minute daily routine that changed everything. Let me give you the cheat code. This is the exact routine I do every morning before I check my email. It's a ritual. Now, mine's a little different because I get up earlier than most people think I should get up. So I get up in the mornings. I head to the restroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. I haven't even showered yet because see, when I come back, that's when I'm going to shower. Now, I get into a morning wake up. After I do all of that, do some stretching, wake the body up, take my vitamins. Before I get dressed, and get in the shower, I check 10 new accounts that match my ideal listener. Follow them, engage with them, and at least 3 of their posts. Reply to all the comments on my content for the last 24 hours. Real replies, not thanks. Actual engagement. From minutes 10 through 12, I engage with 5 people in my existing community. I like their post, comment, share their content in my stories. And then for the next 12 to 15, and remember, this is all the time frame. So within the next few minutes, I send 3 to 5 DMs that could be follow-ups, new intros, just checking in with people I've been building this relationship with. That's it. That's my 15 minutes. So my whole 30 minutes is exercise, get a little snack, brush my teeth, wash my face, not in a particular order. Cover the 15-minute daily routine for Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all of that. Get in the shower, get dressed, leave out, get my day started. That's it. It's every day. No excuses. This routine has made more money than an ad campaign. It's made more money than any viral post. And the algorithm hack, it's better than any one that you could ever ask for because it's real, it's human, and it builds trust. Now, you don't need a big audience to make big money. You need a connected audience. A connection is built one conversation at a time. Weather changing again. Oh, Jesus, kicking in. Oh, Lord Jesus. All right, so listen, if you've been nodding your head this whole episode, if you have realized you've been missing out on clients because your engagement game is weak, then I got something for you. I'm going to drop you a link. You get that sheet. We're going to put together the daily targeted engagement tracker. So Google Sheet. It's going to help you out. We're going to put that together for you. We're going to let you get a hold of that. Grab it. Then make sure that you grab the Client Generating Podcast Blueprint, join the community. We want to give you a ton of value, but we want to make sure that we give you the value if it's warranted. A lot of people want to take the stuff and don't want to do nothing with it. I suggest that if you get it, take action. It's the only way it's going to work. Okay. All right. So when we talk about this, we talk about your episode structure, your measuring frameworks, monetization strategies, all of that. You're getting all of this in the whole playbook for free. All you got to do is join the community. It's in there. So here's the bottom line, fam. Engagement beats content. Connections beats clout. And conversations, they turn into currency. Double your audience in 90 days. You don't need no new mic. You don't need no fancy website. Man, you just need 15 minutes a day and discipline to show up. So grab the targeted daily engagement tracker, join the community, download the blueprint, and let's build something real. Because the truth is, you're just one conversation away from your next client. Let's make it happen, all right? Man, I'm your boy, Tony, man. This is Podcast for Profits. We out of here. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Podcast for Profit. If you got value today, share this episode with a creator who's ready to level up. And make sure you hit follow so you never miss the moves we're making. If you're serious about turning your podcast into a business, tap the link in the show notes to join the Solo Empire